This supplement is personal. I am tired of the abuse that I receive associated with my caffeine habit.
Tutorial 1 supplement, caffeine, local, and adrenaline. I'm very thirsty, so I decided to drink a can of this. Unfortunately, every time one opens such a delicious beverage, somebody in the locale decides to freak out about the vast quantity of caffeine that I'm about to consume. That might make me even more hyperactive than I normally am. So I thought I might just go through the different concentrations of caffeine in different drinks that we may have in the average day. And let's start with this 500 ml can of an energy drink. This, if you look at the back of it, it says that it contains 0.3% caffeine. That's 0.3 milligrams per mil. 500 mils, that works out at 150 milligrams. Down on the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see a cup of espresso. It's a 30 ml cup, and in that cup there is about 75 milligrams of caffeine. A flat white contains a double shot and some milk. That works out at 2 espressos or 150 milligrams. The next cup along is a cup of tea, and that contains 50 milligrams, which seems little, but of course nobody ever just drinks 1 cup of tea, particularly if you have a pot in front of you. And finally, there's the old favorite, that cup of drip coffee from the percolator. That contains, in 8 ounces, 180 milligrams. And of course, if you go to your local diner, you'll get 3 or 4 cups of this stuff. So your drip coffee contains a lot more caffeine than that energy drink. Jorge is in the ICU and he has severe pain, and you're advised to start a Lidocaine infusion at 1 milligram per kilogram per hour. You go to the drug press and you find this. These are 2 different ampules of lidocaine. One is 2% lidocaine and the other is 1% lidocaine. And it's important to just distinguish what these drugs are. The first one, 2% lidocaine, is 2 grams or 2,000 milligrams in 100 mils. That works out at 20 milligrams per mil. The second one, which is half the strength, 1% lidocaine, is 1 gram or 1,000 milligrams in 100 mils or 10 milligrams per mil. For Jorge, who is 80 kilograms, if he's going to get 1 milligram per kilogram per hour, then if we're going to use 1% or 10 milligrams per mil lidocaine, if we draw this up neat into a 50 ml syringe and attach it to a syringe driver, Jorge needs 8 mils per hour, 80 milligrams, or 0.13 mils per minute. Be very careful with local anesthetics. They come in different shapes and sizes of ampules with different things mixed into them and different concentrations. If you look here on the front, there are 3 different concentrations of levobupivacaine. There's 25 milligrams in 10 mils or 2.5 milligrams per mil. There's 5 milligrams per mil and 7.5 milligrams per mil. That last ampule contains per mil 3 times as much levobupivacaine as the first one. You're about to suture a patient's arm and you request a local anesthetic. You were offered this bottle. Now, this is a proprietary product that contains lidocaine 2% with epinephrine, and that epinephrine is 1 in 200,000 concentration. So that's our 2% with this 1 in 200,000 epinephrine. What is this? Well, easily, the first thing, of course, we know this is 20 milligrams per ml of lidocaine. That's the easy bit. But the whole 1 in 200,000, what's that all about? This is an old-fashioned concept known as a drug ratio, and it's a dangerous anachronism that needs to be immediately removed from clinical practice and banned forever. However, we're currently stuck with it. Drug ratios are a way of expressing the strength of a solution. A 1 in 1,000 ratio for epinephrine is a gram of epinephrine in 1 liter of a solution. So that's 1 milligram per mil. A 1 in 10,000 ratio of epinephrine is 1 gram of epi in 10 liters of solution. That's 0.1 milligrams per mil. And finally, 1 in 200,000 is 1 gram in 200 liters, or 0.5 milligrams per mil, 5 micrograms per mil. Now, the EpiPen, which you'll recognize, or anybody who has severe allergies will recognize, this is a life-saving device. This contains 0.3 milligrams of epinephrine, and that is a 1 in 1,000 solution. So 0.3 mils is what's injected here of 1 in 1,000 solution. 0.3 milligrams. The other thing you sometimes see is this. This is a Minijet that you'll see in a cardiac arrest. And you can see here it's epinephrine 1 in 10,000. So what's that about? Well, 1 in 10,000 is 0.1 milligram per mil, and 10 mils of this is 1 milligram. So there's 1 milligram in 10 mils. That's what 1 in 10,000 means. So let's go back to this ampule that contains a mixture of drugs. We have our 2% lidocaine with 1 in 200,000 epinephrine, 20 milligrams per mil of lidocaine, and then we have our epinephrine. So we know that 1 in 200,000 epinephrine is 5 micrograms per mil. So this is 20 milligrams per mil of lidocaine and 5 micrograms per mil of epinephrine or adrenaline. The purpose of adding the epinephrine, just so that you know, is that it is purported to prolong the duration of the local anesthetic block.